As Arcane finishes its final act, the citizens of Piltover find themselves in an all-out war between Noxian warlord Ambessa Medarda and her army of evolved super soldiers. After the events of Act II, Ambessa made a deal with Viktor, who, after Jayce's attack, has formed this protective cocoon. In exchange for bringing him to the Hex Gate, Viktor will evolve her soldiers, turning them into a force capable of taking over all of Piltover. In episode 207, after Jayce was teleported to an alternate dimension of Piltover, a dimension set in the future, he sees what will happen if Viktor is successful. All of the city and potentially the world of Runeterra will be destroyed. This is why in episode 206 he tries to kill Viktor to prevent this from happening. By the time we reach the finale, however, there are some truly fun twists. Remember that in his early life, Jayce had been influenced by a mysterious cloaked figure. It was this figure that saved him and his mother's life and gifted him this blue rune, which would fuel his love and obsession with Hextech. It turns out this cloaked figure is a markedly older Viktor, one who comes from a dimension where his ultimate goal of, quote, glorious evolution was successful. This Viktor believed by uniting all things under his control, he could end all suffering, but this came at a cost of a dystopian hellscape where every living thing basically come under his control. Viktor later refers to this as fields of dreamless solitude. His quest to end all suffering ultimately led him to learn that what he created was also a world without joy, love, happiness, and choice. So Viktor set about fixing what he created, and to do this he had to travel to different dimensions and set Jayce on a path that would eventually stop himself from becoming this destroyer of humanity. But how did he do this? You'll notice that Viktor gives young Jayce different combinations of runes, and it's ultimately this one, which we'll learn is called acceleration, that sets in motion a series of events that will put an end to Viktor.
I was playing with inversions on Jayce's acceleration rune. How far did you go?
When Echo arrives in this alternate dimension, he arrives in a world where Jayce's apartment explosion resulted in the death of Vi. This is the same explosion we see Powder and Vi escape from in the very first episode of Season 1. So Echo ventures over there and finds these shards from the rune given to this world's Jayce, which just so happened to be this acceleration rune. It was Echo's experimentation with this rune that allowed him to travel back home with the Z Drive, a device that would allow Echo to smash Viktor's mask off, resulting in this moment of realization of what he created. So to make a long story short, if it weren't for Viktor giving young Jayce that specific rune, Echo would never have been able to create the device that stops Viktor in the finale.